I'm going to walk through a couple of examples. I'm going to start with mostly AI because it's really neat. Data synthesizer would do something similar, but it would take a bit more poking and prodding, and it doesn't look as good. I'm going to just use their sample census data generator. And this generator, this is an AI model trained on the 1994 census data set. It took about 50,000 points, and it just generates census data that looks right, but it's completely fake. So it's completely anonymous. When we go to generate data, we can scale up or down to whatever we want. We could make 100,000 data points, 200,000, we do 5,000, 10,000. We can adjust the temperatures, we can go crazy with the values we're getting. And we can also very directly eliminate bias. We want to control, for say, the wage gap and say that we don't want income to be correlated with sex. And then I would generate this data, but it would take like 30 seconds. So let's just do it. I have a data set already. Okay. You can see it looks right, looks good. But let's say I come to nice, cool quality assurance report. Share a new one. Here you can see all of these distributions that you can point to and say, hey, look, my data looks like the real data. And this is how I know that I'm getting generally correct data. There might be some nuance missing, but this would have to be acceptable to someone when they start training. Let's look at, okay, so income versus sex. In the original data, there's about a 0.26 correlation that roughly accounts for the wage gap. But in our synthetic data, 0. So we've been able to eliminate that sorts of bias just straight up while also anonymizing our data, which is valuable to a lot of people. So what if you don't have data? Well, I'm going to use our good friend LangChain, who, if you haven't heard enough of him in the first open mic, you're going to hear more about him today, so buckle up. In the experimental branch, they have a tabular synthetic data library, and here is sort of their canned example that I tweaked. You can change the structure just by changing these pydantic models, and you just have to provide a few examples, so that essentially this is all of your data that goes in. Tell it what to make, and it can be real simple. And you choose your AI or your LLM. I use OpenAI. I think Olama is known to work with it as well. And then you choose how many data points you want. This will take like 15 minutes. I think that's more probably because I'm using the lowest paid tier of OpenAI, so I don't get a whole lot of throughput with it. But if we take a look at the data I generated, this is it. The names are really funny. Quintessa George, but that's probably because I told it to pick names it normally wouldn't use. Going back to the situation, or let's say I had a bunch of data with English names, this could be a way of supplementing your data and providing names that are non-traditional, but preventing that bias from entering your model as well. Okay, that's just about everything I had prepared. Are there any questions? No? Anyone hear me?
So you said you think you could use it with Olama?
Yeah, I think I was Googling around and I saw someone who successfully got it working with Olama, although I didn't try it myself.
All right. Yeah, I mean, this looks like it has benefit beyond just machine learning. I mean, any time you need synthetic test data, it looks like you could use something like this. But I don't know if anybody wants to spin up an OpenAI license just to get it. But if you can do it with OLAM, that might be cool.
That'd be great for patient data, because you never want to have real data for that.
Yeah, that's actually a good use case of it. If I wasn't so dialed in, I think data synthesizer is a real good tool. You can do sort of what most of the AI does. You take like your production data and plug it in. You can synthesize fake test data straight from it, and just use that in all your lower environment test environments.
This reminds me of when we were at Fidelity, we had there was a whole department of people that were responsible for generating test data. And what they would do is they would copy production back into the non-prod environments and then obfuscate it with, they had all these algorithms to do it. It seemed like it would eliminate their job.
Yeah.
So this synthetic data that we made in this example took like a minute to create, and it's like 10,000 rows or 50,000 rows, and it's entirely synthetic. So yeah, take their job and do it cheaper too.
So you mentioned medical data, right?
Yeah,
Isn't
sure.
this data going out to OpenAI, the process?
That's precisely why I asked about OLAMA. It's that you keep it.
Okay.
Yeah. So there would be, you would have to use the data or give the data to OpenAI. You could also self-host OpenAI, and then or OLAMA or whatever, and use that instead. So you're not giving it away to a third party. That could also be expensive or time consuming.
It's like the hesitation of many
Yeah,
clients. So
for sure.
Yeah, getting good data for medical testing and stuff is impossible or very difficult, because you don't want to use real data and you don't want that to get out. Yeah. That'd be excellent.
Hey,
Any
Adam,
other-
one quick question. Yeah, I was just curious. I know you mentioned the cost piece a little bit on those paid tools. Where was it that mostly AI fell relative to the others?
It's pretty generous. So I have some credits up here. These credits reset every day. And I've been able to generate like 100,000 points or so with it, and I still have credits left. So it's pretty good. I think for a more complex data set, it'd start getting up there, but I'm not super familiar with its pricing just because.
Okay. What's the cost for what you're doing just for your own use right now? Just out of curiosity.
Entirely free.
Oh, okay.
I haven't
Cool.
had to pay anything to most of the AI. And also, you can create. If you have data, like you can just throw this data up here. Pretty easy, and this hasn't cost me anything to do. You can configure your models. Start training.
Yeah. So like from a test data creation perspective, just using it free could still get you potentially like everything you would need.
Yeah, if you're using it, if you're not using it every day, or you're using it maybe like, for like 10,000, 100,000 records a day.
Yeah.
It shouldn't cost you anything.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.